I'm not stupid enough
We
to do
narrowly
that.
avoided that one.
Does it have to be one person says the name 3 times, or is it 3 times in a certain amount of time?
Yeah, what's the cooldown?
We actually don't know that, because every time it's ever happened, it's been one person.
This is fascinating.
It was Barbara in the film, and it was Lydia pretty much every damn day in the cartoon.
Well, yeah, somebody has to summon him. Anyway, welcome to AlphaWit Thursdays, Silver Admirals Edition.
Whatever the fuck we're calling it.
Yeah,
now.
this is
Welcome to
garbage.
this never-ending mistake.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Today, allow us to present a brief interlude in the long play saga that is 9 persons, 9 hours, 9 doors. 9 doors, 9 hours? I can't remember. 999. To play this demo, about which I know basically nothing. But it came across my radar because our good friends at the game company that made Barn Finders was cross-promoting this.
Oh, Lord.
And so it came up on my Steam newsfeed.
Wait, we're friends with those people?
I definitely wouldn't touch any of them.
Oh, well, I mean,
But
yeah.
I might,
well, then
like,
how could it be friendship?
have a conversation with them across some lawn chairs.
oh, that's pretty cool.
And honestly, that's how I knew a lot of people in college. So yeah, friends, I guess.
I have to ask the first question here.
Is
Are there nudes?
in this?
Yes.
I would be surprised if there were nearly as many sex toys.
Oh.
But
Well,
again,
they're
I
really
don't.
Can't be serious.
He finally got the name right. In Barn Finders, one of the items you could find and sell in your pawn shop was a sex doll.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And I made a point of never selling them. Instead, I took one back to my character's bedroom and put it on the bed, and immediately an achievement popped up for doing so.
Lonely no more.
Yeah. And every night when I would get into bed, I would very courteously say, "Ladies," because eventually it started getting kind of crowded in there, because you find 3 of them over the course of the game, at least.
We found 3 of them.
How did Kuro feel about this?
I think she thought it was funny, and I think she felt relatively unthreatened. Because those sex dolls were not terribly advanced in their features.
I mean, I can't imagine that she would have popped as easily as those 3 would have, so no reason to be threatened.
Her tits are bigger.
Well, yes, that's also very true.
Who is using the bot today? Is that you, Admiral?
It's me. I just wanted to make sure the joke was emphasized.
For the really important jokes that she definitely needs to come across, she's gonna use the bot. So
You're putting far too much thought to that than I did.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about this. I don't know very much about mechs at all, but I know that some people attending do definitely know a lot about mechs. And I'm hoping, if we're really lucky, I can skip the tutorial.
You know that won't happen. There'll be no such luck here.
I would love
matter-
if this took place in Texas, and then we could call it Tex-Mex.
Oh, Lord.
Get the fuck out of this room.
Alpha, that joke is so up your alley. You don't get to be mad about that. You're just mad you didn't think of it yourself.
No, that's why I'm kicking him out.
Oh.
You're finally here. Your competitors were not as lucky as you are, and they are still sitting in their holes. And you got this gem.
So, the main thing I saw, I actually tried to research of whether or not the tutorial was skippable. And the only thing I could find about this game is that everyone finds this android very annoying very quickly.
I already do.
He will be mutable fairly soon. And in fact, they...
Can I mute him with an RPG launcher?
Probably not. The developers released an update where they nerfed him so he would talk less.
Oh, wow.
Uh-huh.
People had shit to say, I guess.
Oh, that's things that I didn't know were doors but are.
For how much?
The surprise spin-off sequel.
I always wanted to have a Vine show where called things that should be doors but aren't. Like this. That should be a door. I think we can all agree. But it's not.
No,
I can have-
it kind of looks like
I
a
can have a
wall with a
TikTok
split down
show.
the middle.
Is that Goggles? If that is, he's impossible to hear.
Uh,
Can you
it
hear
is
me
in fact
now?
Dr.
Yourself.
Dog.
You're very soft.
Turn yourself up. Turn yourself on.
Don't. And anyway, the Vine
Well,
show
if
would
he turns
just be
himself on, then he won't be soft anymore.
things that should be doors but
Well.
aren't.
For how much money?
But
And the name of the game and the character just running into a thing that I think should be a door, and then it would end. And I never got it
So what
together.
you're saying is
You know
that
how
your
hard
show
it
is
was
just
to
fucking
find this
me
place?
laughing as you
And
listen
unregistered
to us
mechanics
more
are still
versus
being
so terribly.
prosecuted by the authorities.
I mean,
Since you're operating in a somewhat gray area, they'll surely make
Yeah,
you
right.
your partner in crime. Screw me apart and make me a blender or some other tool. Just be careful, okay?
screw me apart. Screw me apart. Okay.
I
Yeah,
like-
that
was
is,
questionable phrasing.
That doesn't feel super native Englishy. But it's other than that, it's not terrible.
you know,
I think it's a
love
great
the
start.
idea of a sarcastic robot. It's like a common archetype, but I mean,
Still
it
like
means
it.
that someone had programmed sarcasm into a robot, and that's gotta be a fun job.
Are you saying it was sarcasm when he asked to be fucked to pieces?
That he was asking not to be fucked to pieces. Does that say GLaDOS?
Yeah, it sure fucking does.
Oh, look at that.
Is that copywritten? Are they about to be in trouble?
Oh boy, oh boy.
I mean, maybe that's fair use.
I mean, the fact that GLaDOS is here says that there's going to be some shit coming down.
I mean, it might be unrelated. It might be a loving homage.
Let's
want
see,
that
we're
us to
10
make it-
minutes into the show and I haven't got a single Gauss rifle or round gun, so, you know, I'm very unsatisfied.
Hmm.
Oh, this is already above my pay grade.
Where the hell are my long-range missile launchers?
I thought you had them all trained on silver at any given moment.
It's
Oh.
the victim.
I mean, I hear he likes
No! No, Silver, the only victim here is me, having to deal with you.
I think we can all claim levels of victimhood here. What the hell?
Yeah, this Thursday stream is just, you know, therapy.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Therapy.
I want to scan that CR code with my phone. Hold it right there.
Alright.
I don't see this going.
That's
The way-
not
It's
scannable,
gotta
it's
just
not
be-
about plots.
I
No,
don't see this going the way you think it's gonna go.
it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
No
If it
shit,
would do
Sherlock.
anything, it would be the game's website. They wouldn't. Would they?
I'm reading a book with a bunch of URLs, and every URL redirects to Rick Astley is never gonna give you up.
Nice.
It better.
Wow.
If you have any degree of fame or power, and you say a URL, you immediately have to buy that URL and make sure that nobody does anything terrible with it.
hmm I remember the Truman Show, the studio, I think it was Warner Brothers who made the Truman Show, they forgot to renew the Truman Show's website, and there was like a bunch of resources for teachers on teaching, oh man, should I be telling the story? Yeah, I should be telling the story.
You've already
There were a bunch
committed
of
yourself.
different teachers on like using the Truman Show, the movie, as like an educational text. And so one year our teacher went to go bring it up, and instead TheTrumanShow.com brought up an anorexia fetish website.
Oh my
Whoa.
god.
Yiggity yikes. That's
So
pretty bad.
The entire class of, I think it was sophomores, found out that you can ratchet down a belt around a human. What's between like the ribs and the hips? Like what would a tailor call that?
Waist.
The waist.
A tailor calls it the waist.
You can ratchet down a belt onto the human waist so that it's only like, I don't know, like 8, 10 inches around. It was distressing.
If someone is deeply, deeply ill and thin, yes, it can be 8 to 10 inches.
Only slightly offset by the fact that we were looking at real life human titties on a screen class. I'm gonna be honest, there might have been genitals there, but my eyes immediately got arrested by the belt. So that was
So
where
where-
I stopped scanning.
So where are the 8 to 10 inches? The waistline or the genitals?
The waistline.
Okay.
Anyway,
How?
back to which
You mean we're
criminal
not-
enterprise.
How
Now
do
hold
I
on. You mean we're
turn
not
off
fucking?
this tutorial? I don't want to know these things.
I feel like I called it by saying no such luck.
Ha! Woo! Ah, God is good.
Oh, that's one loss for the good guys.
Give me a job. This mech requires removal of any damage suffered during its last mission. A standard unit has been damaged. One can see at first glance that the damage is serious. In case of unsatisfactory quality of execution, company reserves the right to refuse payment. Repair part? ? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely
you-
accept job ?
Did you say that one of these mechs broke his unit?
We don't know yet.
Right on.
We can only hope.
I
When
expected
you're dealing with this many horsepower,
but I like costumes.
Mm-hmm.
What animation cycle is it doing, and to what?
It appears to be trying to type on a console and missing. What is that? That's no.
Why would a robot have to type anything? Is there not Bluetooth in the future?
Great point. Why are there so many first aid kits around here? That's what I'm really getting
Well, that
worried
one's
about.
easy. Clearly, you're going to hurt the shit out of yourself while working on
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
even afraid of
right.
like grinding stuff because I don't like getting sprayed with the sparks. This one I might not be cut out for this. Well, step one is always
Here you
diagnosis.
I'm also not a huge fan of using grinders, but you got to admit that they're basically the only thing that do what they do.
A quick cursory glance of the front of the mech suggests that there is no unit to be damaged.
Oh, it's kind of got a booty though.
No.
I
no,
don't
it
see
really
anything wrong with this. I think we can just
Did
send
you
her
say
out.
something? Did you? Sorry, I have too many tasks open at the same time.
Yeah, one.
So it begins.
He sounds like sort of a little bit Minnesotan. Like a very little bit. Like just enough for it to like trigger my Minnesota senses.
How did you
Minnesota
develop
senses are
Minnesota
tingling.
senses?
Do you have some kind of fetish for that accent?
No. I don't know. It goes back a long way to Boy Scouts and camping with
Wait, which Minnesotans did we camp with?
It was at Philmont. There was like
Oh.
it was like a joke that everyone on every trek was from Minnesota, and so people on our trek started to pretend to be from Minnesota and put on a Minnesota accent. And we all just started like keeping count of like how many people were from Minnesota versus how many people we thought were faking being from Minnesota.
When I
Are you
hold
shooting
down
at it?
my
What's going on?
when I hold
I
down my
do.
mouse button, the cursor did a thing.
I see the problem. It has no asshole.
No
Where are you
buttons,
supposed to
but I
eject from?
That's probably exactly the problem. There's nowhere for the exhaust to go. Although I did see something highlight red just a moment
Oh
ago.
boy. Remember everything I took off and in what order? I should have taken a picture first. That's what I do with
that's what I
instruments
did.
I'm not super familiar with.
All right,
You
so
took off the hip plate. Now you're unscrewing the thigh plate.
Wow. This is detailed.
Oh boy. I was
What's
like,
with
this
the
looks
red?
a little bit simple to me, and nope.
Wait, did it actually show you whatever was damaged, or you just blindly taking its leg off?
I was gonna say I don't remember seeing a problem be
I
highlighted.
saw the
What-
tiniest bit of red. I can't jump, but down in like the bottom, the shin area, maybe the calf.
You say so.
Yeah, you can. They're highlighted. Normal, repaired, rusty, damaged, broken, unrepairable.
All right, let's see some of these parts then.
What does yellow mean?
That's a great question.
Is this the tutorial, or is the tutorial like the thing that we skipped?
Tutorial is the thing that we
Tutorial.
skipped.
Hmm.
Yes, you
I
know.
do like more dangerous lane. Thought you'd already unscrewed that.
I do too. I don't know what this
So did
arrow
I.
means.
Go up.
Oh, okay. It did
Alright.
start working. Finch. Gotta take off the Johnson couplers.
Yes,
God, I
take
feel
off
like I
the.
should be. What? The Johnson? I feel like we should be writing this down because we're never going to be able to put this thing back together.
Nope, I'm not
It
helping.
was the hip plate,
I dropped
then the thigh plate,
ankle.
then the knee plate, then the ankle
Nope.
plate.
That's rust. Rust.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so we're gonna have to do something about. And that one is what?
Damaged cables.
That's damaged cables.
Alright.
All right, so we have the
Let me
damaged
outta here.
part.
The D.
Let me out! Let me out!
Let me out! Damn it!
Where's our D-Rustomatic?
It's the hose in the backyard. You have to go out behind the shop.
You're actually not super far wrong. I have seen in a trailer like a hose station.
I mean, wouldn't that be about par for the course for any game like Barfinders?
Hose in this house, there's some hose in this house. But we can't find it!
Not
Hey.
that kind of hose.
Nope.
You can't see me.
I think it would be funny to have a robot who doesn't have object permanence.
Status rusty. Yes.
Yeah, so what can be done about that?
I agree.
Are you operating with this platform?
Say it again?
Are you operating under some kind of problem again?
Am I operating? You're trailing off a little.
You have a time limit.
Oh gosh. Oh boy. Jiminy Crickets, I hope not.
Wait, what? Wait, what about a time limit?
She was inquiring if we had one, and just the thought of that has struck fear into my heart.
I can't imagine why we would have a time limit. This thing doesn't have a heartbeat or nothing. That's
Well,
gonna
time is
deteriorate.
money. They might need it back out on the front.
Can we just burn it?
Can we what good will that do?
We will no longer have to worry about preparing it. We may have bigger worries as a result of our actions, but we won't have to worry about fixing the damn thing. Pick your poison at that point.
I guess I would rather do the thing that we're doing now first.
Alright, so we have tasks now to repair those parts. Question becoming, how do we repair it? Oh, if only there were a tutorial that could tell us how these things were done.
Yep. Don't want them. I mean, it's not a big place. We'll find it eventually.
Are you trying to repeat the broken plate incident?
Yes, that was the best part of that stream.
I mean, yes, except it caused psychological harm.
Yes, that was the best part of that stream.
What are you referring to?
Your broken plate incident.
Oh, fuck off.
You totally agree that that is where comedy comes from.
No, that's the
People
broken
who are
plate
witty
is not what.
repartee, but
The
they
broken
say
plate is
it's
not what.
correct.
Yeah. The broken plate is not where comedy came from.
Yes, it
The
is.
gas tank in the fucking oven is where comedy comes from.
No, the plate in and of itself was funny.
Maiko is threatening with a missile strike. 3rd time this week. Boring.
There's gotta be a better
Why,
way.
you asshole? Spice up your life with a fucking iron can strike. How about that?
I mean, threaten me with a good time, I guess.
Well, if I'm too stupid to fix them, can I just buy new ones? I know
we're out
it's
of the,
much more efficient to fix things.
we're out of the tutorial mode, so I suppose we can do any course of action we want to now.
Yeah. See, what I could do.
I feel like we've already fucked the pooch by skipping the tutorial, so nothing else really matters.
I say we lead in.
So is this
I
the
say we buy the
nihilism
pooch
stream
dinner.
then?
Or
Do we
something like
really
that.
need 2 legs?
So, one time,
No,
I
not
watched
really.
the McElroys play Car Mechanic Simulator, which I feel just about as equipped to tackle. And what they did is, since they couldn't figure out how to buy a new oil filter for the car whose oil they were changing, they accepted a second job, took the oil filter out of that car, and put it on the first car.
Oh.
It's a car repair Ponzi scheme.
It was dirtier than the first oil filter, but technically it had been replaced. And so, unless you can think of a place I haven't yet been, or a surface I haven't yet rubbed my face on.
How about start rubbing your face on your IRL keyboard? Just slam down into like the QAZ section and start rolling towards your PL period.
No, because they shall probably accidentally all F4.
Alt and
That's true.
F4, my face isn't that big.
I don't know. Depends on how much tongue you use.
Wow.
Anyway, E brings up this menu again.
Does it not let you, like, highlight over one of those parts?
Doesn't seem that
Oh.
way.
O brings up the parts market. This is great. Okay, so if we have to go here, we will go here. These buttons are cosmetic. Great.
Demonstrations, okay.
Was it O that brought up the parts market? I brings up the parts market, excuse me.
Demonstrations of androids, yada yada yada.
Wait, so rubbing your face on the keyboard literally could have helped.
A little. Okay. So only 2 buttons do things.
I have another idea.
And one
Click
of
to
them's not
play.
doing it anymore, so...
Click to place a platform, click again to lock it.
Oh, fuck right off with that shit. Did you ever beat that?
I got further.
I know you got further.
I didn't beat it. I'm not going to beat it.
Go back down to the computers where the legs are.
Go back down to the computer and... What now?
Fuck's sake.
You're just quiet.
Go back down to the computer where the legs lock into and see if there's something there.
Oh, yeah.
That would make sense. There should be some kind of repair mechanism if you lock a part in it. Perhaps you can make it lift its leg from there. Now the one with the...
I
the
just
one
thought it
with
was worth
the leg
checking.
in it. Yeah, okay. I still think
Oh,
it's
that's
likely
putting things back in. This is taking things out.
I still think it's likely
Yeah.
there's a repair station somewhere for the parts that we're actively carrying.
Yeah, what about the other thing?
The other table?
Yeah.
It didn't seem to do anything.
That's because there's nothing on it.
Start to take skipping the tutorial here with the bank.
What about that station up to the left?
This one?
Yeah.
We've been there. It doesn't seem to do anything.
Can we take
All
parts
right.
out of that robot who's walking around?
Yeah, right? Everybody hates that guy.
I feel like nobody ever gives that guy a...
This really
real
feels
chance.
like it should do something, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does.
It should.
Oh, there's SCP nodes there, or numbers there.
Aim
Right?
for the, aim for the keyboard.
SCP on the right?
On the right?
What is
Does say
SCP?
SCP. I don't know what it stands for.
No, that's, the crowdsourced,
No, I know what
horror
SCP is. I
story.
listened to their podcast. I don't believe there is a specific SCP that is just a part of a mech, and another SCP that is a different part of the same mech, which is what I think that...
Oh, yeah, I'm just pointing out an Easter egg. Like,
Gotcha.
there's 3 SCPs listed on that chart. And I'm curious as to what 3 they are, but I cannot read it well enough to actually read it. But it's also weird hearing that the SCP Foundation has, like, a podcast.
Well,
That's a bit like finding out that...
they kind of don't. There is a guy who just reads them, but he starts it as that this is a part of the data redundancy project to protect this information from data loss from other sources.
Uh-huh. And does he mean, like, he's worried that, like, the SCP wiki will go down and all of the stories will be lost, or...
He's pretending that he is a data specialist at... Whoop.
Good as new!
That's not a completely reassembled...
You're
do you
missing like 4 tons of armor
What are
here.
you doing?
No, come off. Oh, I guess that didn't stick.
But
You didn't screw it back
I
in.
think I
If you
should
wanted to stick,
visit the
you could.
Orion's belt someday. I've heard there's plenty of interesting stuff there.
unless you'd like to be whipped with the Orion's belt, I suggest you shut up.
Apparently he used to talk more than this. Isn't that alarming?
He's got like the most grating voice of anything I've played recently. I don't We're gonna talk about that.
He's, I think, trying to be a sound-alike to maybe one of the Mystery Science Theater bots. Every once in a while, I get some Crow T robot.
It's about as annoying as C-3PO.
Oh, but C-3PO is endearing.
C-3PO
Yes.
doesn't shut up either.
He's posh. You love posh.
I mean, look,
Posh
nothing-
is third favorite Spice Girl.
I mean, look, nothing against Anthony Daniels, but
What this game needs is a jump button.
Oh?
so this
Alright,
thing
I'm
is
buying new
literally-
ones. You can't stop me.
I literally don't see any other choice. This is like.
You have quite a bit of money.
I still maintain the mindset that skipping the tutorial was the most damning thing we could have done if we wanted to progress.
We don't want to progress. We want this to be funny.
The Rolling Stones are starting a new concert tour. Truly, Mick Jagger will never die.
Does anybody remember
Nope.
Mm-mm.
CC
What?
MO41?
You didn't expect us to memorize model numbers. Right?
Don't
That's the one.
think that's... Oh, okay.
One, please. And I need an O part MO1. And
Yeah, filter.
armor. Right? Or was it chassis?
What color was it?
It was greenish.
Alright, what's the part that's rusty?
It's a chassis part.
O part 06M01. And we need the chassis. O part 06, you're gonna have to paginate, yeah. O part, so 06M01.
We get to use the mechs, right?
I think you might get
No,
to
absolutely not.
play test them in like the calibration chamber, but mostly no.
This is mostly about building mechs.
Yep.
I see.
This is half of Armored Core without the fun part.
I don't know if you're familiar with...
I found it, I see
Viscera
it, yep.
Viscera Cleanup Simulator, but it was after a protagonist goes through a first-person shooter level and mows down hundreds of guys and, monsters, whatever. You then go through the level and you, mop the floors and trash the body parts. And replace broken furniture and stuff, and that was the game, and this is kind of the same genre.
That's awesome.
The problem with Viscera Cleanup Detail is that it's actually fairly challenging in certain places. It's annoying to you're constantly kicking over your bucket of dirty water and then spreading it around. So, and if it's multiplayer, it's 100 times worse with people kicking over your bucket of dirty water. So I'd actually look
most other things,
too frustrating
turning
for me
off
to play.
gravity or doing some other shit.
But I love the idea that we've failed so much as a society that we find games about the drudgery of cleaning up after the superheroes or the protagonists to be like enticing.
I'd try it.
I mean, I feel mildly insulted by you considering that I find the simulator actually kind of enjoyable.
Right, but maybe that's just it. Maybe like there's some inherent quality to work that we're being robbed of because of the way that work is set up. Like maybe you wouldn't mind doing your job if at the end of the day you got to walk outside and see your boss get hit by a truck or something, you know? And you just like, you knew that the next day you would walk in and you'd do your job and the boss would be looking over your shoulder. You could be your own boss. What I'm saying is, hit your boss with a car.
I've learned something today. Oh, there was a time limit?
I believe that's time elapsed.
I see. Right, that's different.
That's how long it took us to figure out the fucking interface.
I still feel like I'm missing something. I shouldn't have had to replace a rusty part, I think.
Maybe that's something that comes later.
That's genuinely possible. You could, like, get a derusting station.
But we don't
We
know
didn't
that.
start out with a cleaning station in Sex Doll Simulator 2010.
Great point.
I mean, you're complaining about the cost, but looking at how much time you got right now, it's definitely going to cost.
Just turn the game audio down.
It's true. 5,100 space dollars.
It costs money to be successful. Don't y'all know that?
Takes money to make money.
I'm surprised that the money isn't pesos, considering we're in Mexico.
Oh!
Get the fuck out.
Okay, you know what?
It was a weaker version of
No, shut up.
Mexico, but I
Shut up.
stand by it.
Shut up.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it was on average for you, but anyway.
Harsh.
Okay, so now that we've wasted off about $5,000 on a job that probably could have been repaired, what do we do next?
We
Oh,
figure
we
out
made
what
5,000.
resolution thing I accidentally clicked.
Probably to lose weight. Statistically speaking, that's going to be it.
Hertz is not the thing I wanted to adjust.
Do you mean in like a Wall-E kind of way where all people are very large in the future?
My screen
No.
got cut off a little. Weird. Okay, but it
I
didn't seem
wonder
to
what
affect
would
the stream at
happen
all.
if Vico learned how to build mechs. It seems they only know how to build perfect androids, like me.
I think we need to look into your definition of perfection, buddy.
Different mech.
Oh, yes. A giant bubble cockpit that says, shoot me right here.
Different
Real
sect
big
for
fucking target.
different sects for different mechs. And what have you done to your walking animation?
Yeah, your camera's spazzing the fuck out.
I think I just
It's
walked
fine.
into something. Is it better?
No.
No, it's still doing it.
Yeah.
It looks fine on my computer?
Yeah, the
It's
Discord
fine,
feed's
it's
bugging out
fine,
then.
Don't worry about it.
I'm gonna do some experimentation here.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Also, it's not bugging
Noise.
out on my camera, so maybe it's...
It looks fine now.
Oh.
Oh, never mind. I see the cursor shaking like a... Well, let's not go there.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's a little jittery.
Like you're getting
But
stuttering?
it's Mech Simulator's first day. Some first day jitters are perfectly expected.
So the left arm, the left leg, and the right leg are all in some way damaged. At least that's what I believe I was just looking at.
And job ain't done well enough until they fucked up every single limb on their mech.
Wow, very little was holding that on, huh?
I'm pretty sure if I sneezed on that, that would have fucking blown off.
Yeah, I don't like knowing that.
I would enjoy seeing that.
What?
First, you
Oh,
take
just
off
use-
the hose clamps. What?
That's weird.
That's it? That was a hose clamp and an extension cord.
Oh my god.
That's no good. You
I
gotta.
don't think it's a good thing that
So
Alright,
there's
so
a-
what's up with that internal working right there?
There's a doober in there that we gotta get out. How do we take out a doober? Oh, you gotta take out the underdoor first. The access
put the-
panel.
Well, you see, you put the doober in, you take the doober out, you put the doober in, and you smash it all
Shake
about.
Oh.
I don't know why this has to come off.
I don't know why we're still friends.
I don't know anything, so I'm kind of
Then
just here.
You take off the right hoser wire.
Are we sure that this is?
Boy, I'm not.
Wait, but that's green. Green's good, right?
It is. I'm trying to get
We
stuff
don't-
out of the way to get to the doober.
Yeah, but I don't think that wire is part of that.
I
You
also
might need to take off another part before that'll come off.
usually you can only, as far as I can tell, it was one thing at a time. All right, fine. We'll switch back to put on mode.
It looks vaguely like the ankle plate might be stopping it.
Uh-huh.
Ankle plate? What was that?
Oh, that's just the android walking around being in numbnuts again.
No, I thought I saw a flash.
That's just a flashbang I threw into Silver's window.
Yeah, nothing to be alarmed about.
Oh,
Wait, up there, up there.
I just sort of wiggled it. It was an up, then a down.
Yeah.
Okay, so that
So-
was the right and left hoser wires.
So you literally just yanked the wire off of it. Holding.
It was a little gentler than that, but yes.
Oh, there's your problem. Your screw's up there.
Then you have the argon retaining nut, and that comes off to take off the argon bolts. And you do have to do them both.
When you say argon, what argon? What is
Yeah,
that
it's a
brand
technical
name,
term.
Or okay,
And once your argon bolts are off, you definitely can take off something that they held on.
You know, I didn't actually pull up chat. Has anyone actually come to this TED Talk?
Nope. Nope, I think you idiots have officially pissed off everybody who watches the show.
Well, okay, normally I don't have to give a TED Talk with none of my own research. Oh, see, there's the VXC cable has to come off before you can take off the belt
There's another-
clip,
that's just bad design.
and that holds on your
I don't think I believe in any of this.
Is this
I
part of
feel
the
like,
game?
what?
Well,
Is part of the game to like figure out
And
how to
then
get to the thing?
you take off the toe stabilizers
I mean,
because
maybe-
all of this definitely has to come
No,
off
I really don't think
before
that
I
this-
can get that fucking thing. No,
But-
I like how Wit keeps trying to talk like she knows what the fuck she's talking about.
And then once the toe stabilizers are off, you can take off the toe housing
And the
and
rest
take
of
off
us know.
the toe assembly.
The rest of us know for a fact this is not how it goes.
Once the toe assembly is off, then you can go back up to the camera angle that she's not good at manipulating. Oh, okay, I found Pan. Oh no! The toe assembly is off, the
God.
argon nuts are off, and then definitely soon I'll get to the duber. But before you
Where's the
can...
duber?
Screws on the chin.
Oh, the duber's way up there. I see. So we're working our way up.
Duber's way up there.
We're working our way in, and then down, and then back up again.
No, that makes
You
sense.
know,
That makes sense.
this is
Can I
actually
ask
how
you
I was trained to perform physical examinations on abuse victims. You start at the toes so they can see what you're doing, and then once they see that you're not going to hurt them through the examination, they will be more comfortable when you get to the places that they can't see examining their body.
Yeah, this mech has been sexually assaulted, and this is what we're doing.
Can I ask you? Have you learned nothing from gizmos and gadgets?
I
Evidently
paid
not.
shockingly
Literally
little
nothing.
attention to gizmos and gadgets.
You know, I thought this stream was going to be like some kind of bonding experience between.
So then once your shin armor is
now.
off,
But instead, I just regret everything.
you can take off the femoral cable clips
Admiral, you're not surprised by this, are you?
to yank off the femoral cable. And that'll bring you to the anterior cruciate stabilizers.
I thought higher standard for some reason. Apparently that was a mistake.
And then, of course, you have the distal femoral cable wire.
This isn't even close.
If I take off literally every other part, they're gonna have to let me get to it eventually. So then
My
you have your
concern
ankle
is-
retaining screws.
You probably can right now, and could have as of the last 10 parts.
And your fourth Achilles wire.
I can't wait till she forgets one of the ankle screws and the whole damn neck just topples over.
I'm pretty sure that's already happened.
And all of these clips are
are
spring-loaded, so you have to be real careful when you're taking them off, or they'll shoot across your shop. I'm gonna check up on the duber and see if any of those parts will come off by now, because on some of the newer models, you have to take off some of the older parts. But what we can do is get behind the shock absorber here and take out this, so that will come. You'll have access to the lower retaining
Are
nut.
you making this bit up on the fly, or you intend to do this stream of torturing me?
It's not a goddamn
This is actually going to work. My concern is that she's going to remove enough things that it's just going to fall apart, and we're going to be standing here as the physics simulates everything jostling around in a mess, in a jumble.
There is no physics in this game.
I'm hoping, if we're all
Really?
very
You don't
lucky,
say.
that there is no physics engine in this game.
There's no physics tension, but there's certainly some mental tension going on with me right now.
So
You're not
once
the only
your,
one. I
your
hope you know
shock
that.
stabilizers are off, this should pop right out. Although this might be one of the
No, but
older.
it's not.
If the whole fucking thing collapses on the next pole.
This is
How
like
was this
this is
at
like
work?
robot Jenga.
I think you
Yeah,
guys
but
are expecting a lot that would be very funny, but is not gonna happen. Alright, so this is probably one of the models that had some extra reinforcements in the shock area. And unfortunately, those are fairly tricky to access, so we're gonna have to go back down to the ankle.
He's gonna forget one screw in the ankle. The mech's gonna get dropped. The leg's gonna crumple, and then a mech warrior with like 20 years of training is going to fucking die.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
No, we've got an expert here on our hands. I'm confident.
Okay, who's
This
the
usually
expert?
just pops right out. Sometimes you have to
Wait.
give it a little shake.
Hmm.
And you know, sometimes the corrosion attaches it a little more to the frame. You could clean that up with a little bit of A4 Scotch Brite.
What
Now,
corrosion?
I have a
This part
question.
is perfectly clean.
Yeah.
When you remove the gasket like that, sometimes what happens to me is the clip snaps, and then I don't know what to do. I'm tempted to glue it back in, but then it's even harder to get out next time. What do you do in that
No,
case?
so those Amato clips, you have to be really, they're so small and they're so fiddly. And honestly, it's not a very elegant solution, but I buy them by like a stock of 100, and I keep a
Oh, you
little
just
drawer
replace
of
the whole
them.
clip.
into her window.
Because they're so much like a little spring. They either snap in half because the wire's so thin,
Yeah.
No.
or they shoot across the shop and you never find them until you do your next big sweep. And by then,
Not
this
the
mech is already
actuator.
done and out of here. Come on, there you go. You gotta
I
give it a little
can't
shake.
tell you how many times I've sent a mech out when I find half a Yamato clip on the floor and ends up with
Yeah, and if
a
you're
pellet.
real lucky, you have such a good relationship with that customer that the next time they send a mech in, you know, you give them a little plastic baggie with the Amato clip in it, and you say like, hey, next time you get this one back into your hangar, have your guy just now you can take the whole toe off, you see.
Oh,
Have your guy put this back in, and you know, so if you have a contract with them, you'll have access to them and their parts again. But sometimes, you know, you let one out the door and you're like, well, better luck next time, and you hope you get a chance to see it again and bring it back.
I really believe in that like little plastic baggy customer service approach. Every time I replace a patella compressor, because those things break all the time, and people always say like, "Hey, why are you charged? What are all of these parts on the receipt?" And I like to show them like, "Yeah, this is what I replaced."
Yeah. You have to. It's to keep honest business these days.
We're using extra X-rays to pad the fucking hospital bill.
You know, one time, I had a guy come in, and his mech was just so gross. It was obvious he wasn't taking care of it at all, and I'm sure that half of his mechanical problems were coming from the fact that he was doing zero maintenance. He wasn't sending it in, and he wasn't even doing the stuff that he could do at home. And inside one his
Wait, hold on. You're telling me that he didn't buff the shin guards?
I mean, I wish he was buffing the shin guards. I'm talking about I opened his aortal valve, and inside was such a slug of built-up material that I poked it out with a screwdriver. I poked that slug of like gunk and oil and stuff out with a screwdriver. I put it into one of my plastic baggies and I returned it to him because they're like, oh, you must have lost this. This must be important to you that he would let it build up so badly. I'm going to give this back. As if it was one of his personal items that he left in the cockpit.
It was. He was lubricating with his spittoon.
Oh, it was terrible. So then when you get to this stage, this is where it can get kind of tricky to find the bolt that holds in the...
It holds in all of my disgust.
And
Have
it's a crucial part, obviously. Everything else is kind of depending on removing this, and it's different in every model year. So there's a bunch of places you have to, you gotta check where it could be. And here is the thigh plate screw from earlier.
In the
I told you that was there.
2270.
Well,
But
yeah,
did
I
anyone
mean,
listen to me?
yeah, of course I listened to you. This was one of the places I had to check for this model's thigh plate screw. But I don't remember. I don't know what year this is.
Wait,
It's
now
not like
hold
they're
on a
bringing me the
second.
manual.
The damaged part is clearly visible, so okay, there we go.
And now, after
And it's
this,
rusty.
you can get to the Duber. It's great. It's
Oh.
fine.
Wait, no. Oh no. Okay.
Well, for one thing, we didn't have to disassemble the foot.
I don't think
You now
that's
have
true.
300 parts in your inventory, one of which needs to be replaced.
I know what a Duber looks like. You think I can't find a Duber and know where its model number is? How long do you think I've been doing this?
Absolutely not.
I would say approximately 57 minutes.
All right, so these are the things we've
My faith in any of you has been
taken
totally
off.
crushed.
A new Guinness record for the longest session in VR.
And
The
we
record holder
know
was
that it's
unplugged
not.
after a year of simulation on his 14th birthday. The boy remains under psychiatric supervision.
We know it's probably not a module. Is this buy or sell? Oh boy, this is sell. Okay, great.
Sell them! Sell them!
I
Sell
don't
them!
recognize a lot of these.
Sell them all! Sell them all!
Yeah, I'm sure you don't.
I don't think this is.
This definitely looks like pie.
It does, doesn't it?
It does.
And yet it should not. Ah, okay, great. The Duber, it's right here, I think.
Wait, you were the chosen one.
I mean,
You
I'll
were
double
supposed to
check,
help
and if
me
I
bring
see anything
balance.
that
You were
looks...
supposed to help me bring balance to the stream, not plunge it into darkness.
I don't know why you thought that. I don't know why you thought that. This
Not
also
not
could be
anymore
the
either.
Duber. Oh, it's probably this, because look how bad it looks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the first Duber that you selected was the Duber from the previous match.
Jesus.
Oh, you're absolutely right. That was the ankle part from the last one. You're absolutely right. So here's the Duber. It's an O part 8 MO9 from the
Hopper on the
Argus.
bridge! Everyone at attention! Admiral, introduce the good boy.
Oh my
What are you talking about?
Your puppy?
What?
Oh, is this referring to what her laugh sounds like?
Oh, was that her laughing?
Yes.
I legitimately thought it was a dog
Jesus.
barking.
Oh no.
Oh my god. What have you
Well,
just
I'm
done?
just gonna go excuse myself to chop some peppers. Let me know how that.
That's probably the smartest thing you could do right now. Oh my god.
So
Breaking news from the team responsible for developing the immortality gene.
With no follow-up. It's clickbait on a... How do you pronounce it? Chavron?
You did seriously sound like a fucking dog.
Chiron?
You fucking kidding me?
Chiron.
Chiron.
Yeah,
Although I
that
think
wasn't
this is
very.
more of a crawl than a Chiron.
Yeah, that wasn't very nice, Silver.
Oh, it's more expensive. Well, such is life. Until we start doing more of these Arguses, it's not like we can stock parts. So let me
I think
go...
you did a fine job stocking parts already.
Oh, my mood just didn't complete one.
We're gonna put the Duber back. The new one, of course. You don't even about to screw it in. And we put on... Wow, we did do a lot, eh?
But luckily we know that we did everything above the knee last. So we can just put on those plates and then We're cool.
Thankfully, a
We're
lot of these
cool, we can-
cables you'll find are interchangeable, and it's apparently totally cool to not remember which ones you've taken off of where.
I do
And then
think
you
that-
put on your stabilizer caps, and now your shock assembly is and I guess that's what bolts look like in the future, and that's the retaining nut. And then you've got your hydraulics, and once they're cleaned up, they just pop right back on again. And here's your anterior femoral cable wire, and your distal femoral cable wire, and those are also interchangeable with the cables in the knee, so it doesn't matter.
Oh,
It's-
I
boy.
sometimes use Cat 5 cables for that.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you can. Oh, and this is the part we took off first, so we're gonna put that back on right now. And you'll need the 25 millimeter air torque wrench, and you might need the skateboard for this part just to get up under it. And then we can pan down here.
They add a bag of sand to their mechs. They place them in their cars.
Yep, that's a great joke. I can't remember the pan button, so we'll get back down to the toe in a minute. I guess the armor plating can go back on now. I mean, this can really come off whenever you need, but it has to go back on sooner than you took it off, because you need to get back up here, and you gotta get real close to these. Because you're gonna need the extra torque strength in your screwing arm, because they
Your screwing arm.
you really want to cross thread these. Now, normally everyone would tell you don't cross thread your parts because it destabilizes them over time, but it's really the only way to keep it from just completely shaking itself apart, is if it's so cross-threaded that it absolutely can't vibrate out. And for like your smaller, less heavy-duty mechs, you can use sort of like a Loctite product.
I have questions. What does cross-threading mean? Are you just making shit up?
Cross-threading's a real thing.
Okay, what is it?
Cross-threading is it's more if you're using like a metal screw on a metal part. It's something that you've cut threads for, and the screw will go in it. If you are not careful, if you have a metal screw and a metal part, you can start cutting new threads with the screw as you're getting it in. So you have to be... Oh, lordy. I guess that can go on. That's cool.
Did you forget a few pieces there?
No, I just forgot that that's how it's the ghost of the thing after I've put on the other one. I hadn't actually placed that yet. So for example, on a trumpet, on the valve caps, where the finger buttons are, there is the casing that houses the valve, and there's a cap on it, and it's got a hole in the middle so the stem can come up through it with the finger button. But that is threaded, the casing, onto the top with the valve cap. So you have to make sure that you are putting the valve cap on with the threads that are already there, because if you just start screwing it on randomly, this I think is fine now. You can start cutting new threads, and you'll kind of be able to tell because there's a ton of resistance to screwing it back on. And that's a really good way to get it stuck on forever. Okay, so this is the our problem part here is this cable that you can kind of see in the, what is this, the left, I used to know this, the left interpulmonary area. And so to get access to that, you have to take off the proximal ulnar panel. And that should pop right off once you get the bolts out. And I feel like this should... there must be something blocked. So you can take off the left radial panel too, just to get yourself better access to the origin and insertion of the wire here. And you just give that a quick yank, and that should be off and ready to go. And we will take a quick second to order a new one of these.
I was really expecting something from Alpha on quick yank.
No, I figured I'd let you have that one, friend.
And this is the C-Cab POW 0109, of course.
See, I have to maintain some level of class here.
That's never stopped you before, but okay.
No, well, I'm just having too much fun listening to you go on and on about quick yanks that I really couldn't interrupt.
And here's the C-Cab POW 01MO4, and it's a little expensive these days. We're having some trouble with our suppliers in the industry. There's been some consolidation of factory overseas, and so one factory is actually... Oh. This button has been here the whole time?
Yep.
You talking about a search and shop?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been there the whole time.
Wow, that's tough to hear.
Are you at all curious why none of us said anything?
Well, I think I know the reason for each of you.
Okay.
Do you want to explain clue style why each of us betrayed you?
I think in Kirk and Silver's case, they definitely didn't see it.
Well, hold on. Hold on. Please use my internet handle, Kirk.
You're right. I'm sorry I doxed you like that, Kirk. I think in the Admirals case, she may have seen it, but she was much too angry to try and cut in to say something about it. And I think in Alpha's case, he saw it, saw me blow right past it, realized that I hadn't seen it, and decided to keep his mouth shut because he thought it was very funny.
Uh-huh. Guilty as charged.
Well, I think you're probably right on all accounts.
And then that just pops right back in there. So you can take your radial plate. And this is usually the 10 millimeter wrench, but on this model it's actually a 12 because this was the model year that they were trying something with their proprietary fastening tools. And that was just so unpopular in the industry that in the model year after they switched it back. So both of these limbs are done, and they can go back on the mech, so you can free up some space.
Can you show me your inventory, like your cell inventory?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's pretty forward of you, isn't it, Silver?
I mean, this is hey, this is a place of learning.
Your inventory on the glass.
Oh, yikes!
Androids of the world, unite!
Shut up!
Let me get this leg back on. And we'll plug back in the hoses and tighten the hose clamps, and that's literally all that keeps it there.
You're tightening the clamps on the hoe?
And
Careful, your hoe clamps don't snap. I have that problem.
for all of the models that I spend a lot of time on, I have a drawer with the snaps because that just happens to me so often. So you want to see what parts I have right now.
Is correct. Here's a question. Where should that CCAB POW 01 MO1 go?
I'm fairly fairly certain I put it on, so there's a chance I bought an extra by accident.
Pretty extra accident.
It's probably fine. And if we're very, very lucky, the same part is broken on this one, and I won't even have to buy a new one. So you take off your...
I often ask my customers to please bring in their mechs with symmetrical damage.
I mean, it
I-
definitely, if you know, I tell them if they can manage it, it will definitely make the job go faster, and it definitely increase my turnaround time.
I often ask my customers to take it off before they leave.
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't always like to do let the customers do their own disassembly, just because, you know, I have such a careful part sorting system to help me with reassembly. That was definitely an individual part. See, this is the other kind of cable. So you got to take your clamps off to keep it in the pelvic groove up here. And you can go back to assembly mode apparently the whole time and just pick up a new one of these and put your clamps right back on. And frankly, none of this is realistic because once a week you have to call the Conselmer office and order parts, and they take 2 to 6 weeks. And so this game is gonna get about a 2 out of 10 in my book.
You also may notice that our cash flow is going the wrong way very quickly.
Yeah.
I took an expensive job, but it had a higher payout. So this is where I live now, and
When
I
our reporters
believe
found Witch, she was living in a mech leg under a bridge.
and this is probably fine now. So I'm gonna put this back on the mech. And put back on the right leg. And now when I was in school, they would have you do a second scan to make sure you had all the parts correct, but we don't do that here anymore because it's a huge waste of time. So then you go back up to the office and you can click finish job and get paid.
I didn't know the instruments you repaired were quite this complex.
Oh yeah, no, they're all like this.
I see.
See, we did
All
great.
right.
And arguably, I may have made a profit.
Well, I believe you lost $100 on that job, so.
So is there a way to repair parts that we're missing?
I think that comes with like an upgrade. But there's a chance that I've had that ability and I just don't know how to use it, yes. That is absolutely possible. Alright, so you have some elbow damage and some rear thigh damage. So we'll take the arm. And
If I remember correctly, you've got to start at the fingers and work your way up.
very probably. But you know, you just have to take off the pauldron and the shoulder housing, and then the leg we'll take down here, and the hip plate and the thigh plates. And then you have access to the hip rotor and socket, and that'll come off right there. So, we haven't done an arm yet on this model, so I'm going to walk you through that a little more closely. And so as you can see, we're aiming for this elbow here. And they'll just let you get straight into the socket on this model. You know, they knew that accessibility was going to be a big deal, so you just take off the power cells for the articulators.
And what do you do when you have the socket restrictors? Do you loosen those first, or do you go around from beneath?
So with the restrictors, you know, they want you to take them off completely because it's like a security measure to prevent stuff from shaking apart in battle. So they at least have to be loosened. You don't really have to take them all the way off. Although here's what I do. I do take them all the way off, and then I just don't put them back. Because
No way.
the customer never knows. You know, it's not an exterior part. You kind of can't see it. It's it's a protective for the socket to keep it stable. But they're such a pain in the ass to work around that I know I'm probably going to be seeing this mech again fairly soon for its next maintenance. And so I'll take them off. And, you know, if I find one that definitely needs the restrictors because the socket is coming off all the time, those I'll put it back on. For mechs that don't get a ton of wear or don't already have that problem, I'll take them off and I'll leave them off. Yeah, I got a whole drawer full of them in the back somewhere because, you know, I don't put them back on very much.
I sometimes I mean I've been in the back room. I noticed you got you chain them together kind of like paper clips.
That's the only thing I could think to do with them, and they're kind of a fun decoration. And I have them hung up along the edge of the wall, and I'll hang like Christmas decorations on them in the winter. And
That's arts and crafts right there.
yeah, I mean
Kirk,
it's not like
what
they're
do you-
recyclable or anything.
Kirk, what do you really do in the back room?
I mostly ruffle through papers.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you get it. So unfortunately on this model, you have to take out the whole power cell of the unit to get down to the ulnar coupler there. And you know, because the armor plates are overlapping, you kind of got to start from the top and work your way down, and this just pops right off. And the hydraulic assembly does need to come off before you can get down into here. And there's a retaining clip under this that will let you take off the Y arm and the Z arms. And you know, it's just extra security levels. And it probably makes sense to take these cables off and just, you know, make sure that there's no shorts, because it's such a heavy point of movement on the mech, you know, for the arms, that they can get crimped and shorted very easily. So you can take them over to your electricity tester and just make sure that the current is flowing through them in all of its different positions.
I sometimes just replace
you know,
Cat
you-
5 cables.
Yes.
You know, you say that as you're removing these things with a diagnostic wrench that is fucking telling you that that's not the case.
Listen, what diagnoses the diagnostic wrench, huh? Custodians.
You know, sometimes you gotta trust your gut on these things.
Or your other equipment that you bought because it was very neat, but you definitely needed to be a tax write-off for your business.
You diagnose the diagnostic wrench with your diagnostic eyes. And if you really want to ask what diagnoses the diagnostic eyes...
Are you calling me a cyborg? Like, listen,
Yeah.
but I don't have any problems with cyborgs. I've known some great cyborgs. I just think that there is some benefits to keeping, you know, your original humanity, and, you know, your body is a gift, no matter, you know, how it was given to you or what challenges you. Listen, we all have challenges, okay? Like
I'm either calling you a cyborg or I'm calling you incompetent. I'm not sure which yet.
I'm really offended by this. I can't believe you would slight cyborgs like that.
Can
no,
you
I have,
blame me?
as I said, I have no problems with cyborgs. I just, you know, I think, you know, if there's so much, you know, cyborg pride about like reclaiming the identity, why not pride for, you know, natural humans? You know, you don't hear me talking about all the parts I was born with, or, you know, what they do for me or haven't done for me, and I just, you know, if they, good for them for, you know, having, but like if I can't speak about my body with pride, then I just don't see why it's so, uh, um, you know, I think it's kind of erasure of people like me who haven't done any mods.
I'm sorry. Sometimes people, you know, their physical identity is you know, they feel like they're not comfortable in their own skin without some nuts and bolts in there.
I mean, honestly, that's the part that like just grinds my gears the most. Is the people who just
Oh,
like
ha ha ha.
who just do it for like the fucking kicks of it all. Like, it's one thing if you like need it for medical reasons, but like if that's like a lifestyle you want to leave, if that's like a choice you're making, then frankly I think that's, you know, it's unnatural. Um it is interfering with the natural processes. You know, your body is built that way for a reason, and, you know, is a perfect piece of engineering on its own, and it's, you know, it's, I think it's frankly a little bit disgusting.
Well, I for one
I can't believe I'm hearing this.
Well, I for one am perfectly comfortable with my nuts. Thank you.
And, you know, I agree that you know, it's good for folks who need it. But I don't understand this like being loud about it, and you know, like this like pride about it. You know, it's not something you go and brag about or like tell kids. I think kids
Oh,
should
so you're
be.
saying you can't explain it to your kids, and that's why I can't hire people who have replaced some parts?
You know, I think if it doesn't interfere with the job, I think I don't think that's gonna be a problem. If you know, there are definitely some people who can do, you know, great, fantastic work with mods. But you know, I have a small business. I can't even afford to hire a natural person, much less a person with, you know, with the unique challenges of cyborg enhancements. So, you know, it's not like that is really on me. I just think that you can't give any. I've forgotten how to put it back. Oh, it's this one. You know, unfair advantages taking jobs from natural humans. So.
You know, I think we're gonna have to just agree to disagree on this one.
Yeah, you know, it's just comes down to morality. And I'll be praying for you.
I noticed that the right leg was still showing red. Did you forget something?
It was not.
I mean, double check the computer, but I'm
Oh,
pretty
that's
sure.
right. We hadn't done that part yet.
As I recall, a word of wisdom was to not do a second scan before setting it out the door, because that's a waste of time, quote
It's
unquote.
a huge waste of time. This was still left over from the first scan, though, so you know, it's not like we can't use that data.
Oh, okay.
You know, I'm not gonna not use data that I've already got. I'm just not gonna bother. You know, those scanners use so much power. Oh, this is a simple
Fuck the
one.
anxiety.
Oh, it's right
You
on the
don't want to become
plating.
one of those people who's always second guessing themselves, scanning and rescanning, looking for new problems. Don't be a person who looks for problems in your life. Be a person who looks to get the job done and deliver the product.
Yeah, especially if
Person
your
looks for
customer's in the waiting
solutions.
room. You gotta get them out of there. They don't want to wait all day.
Yeah, they can drink all your free coffee. That's what I do.
Are you saying that when you're waiting in the waiting room, you drink all of the free coffee?
Yes.
Yeah.
An incentive for them to work quickly and efficiently. They want me to be gone and not to come back. So to ensure that I don't come back and then just eat all of their creamer straight out of the carton with a spoon, they make sure that all of the parts that they service are not going to break yet.
The market is just crazy these days. These fucking suppliers.
You mean the fact that they expect money for the parts that you take from them?
I mean, they raise their prices faster than inflation. All right, that's my only point.
I'm starting to remember you and I once went to a TGI Fridays and the line was very long, and you went through that whole bowl of mint and all of the toothpicks. You hadn't even eaten dinner yet. You went through all the toothpicks.
Did you still eat dinner?
I have more than once filled up on enough free stuff to take home every single bit of my entree.
You're gross. I hope you tipped so fucking well, you fucking pig.
The tragedy of the lost leader.
The allegory of the lost leader. Does anybody remember how much money I have to earn to get a mechanic's license?
$1 million.
It's only 1,500. Oh,
Wait,
no.
you don't have a license?
Technically afford it. No, she doesn't. That's the problem.
What have you been?
Listen,
Are you
I
doing all of
know
this
some
illegally?
guys. First step in making a name for yourself in this world, getting a license will earn you the trust of major corporations and allow you to receive better jobs from them. Unlocks gaining
Right.
reputation, more advanced jobs, and ability to purchase stations.
How
Oh,
long were you
station.
working in your profession before you had a legal licensed copy of, like, 3D Studio Max or Photoshop or Blender or whatever?
Yeah, that's not all that crazy.
I'll tell you this.
Okay, I was talking about
Secret of the trade. As soon as you learn Photoshop, you can make your own license.
Wow.
So, problem solved there.
Oh, hell yeah! The rest of the stream is gonna be this.
I for one approve.
Oh, I love this. That's very culty.
Make it all green.
Why?
Oh, those are eyes and hands.
Because green is a nice color.
Okay.
That's I feel like that's half of a 1-2 combo because that doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
That's pretty
That's-
fucking funny.
I think that's the winner right there.
That's pretty good though.
So is this which discount cyber funeral home?
No Borgs
Or-
allowed.
More of a funeral apartment. Funeral condo. What do we need to do to turn this funeral house into a funeral home?
Love it.
I just do want to see other options, but those were all my favorites. Okay.
Are you Mick Jagger? Because you're living on the edge.
Alright, back to the cult.
Wow.
We knew you'd come crawling back.
Oh, good. What?
That's a bold choice. I feel like this is clip art that was purchased by a robot. Like they just set like an algorithmic learning AI loose in a clip art marketplace.
For
Just
real.
like, we bought 6 pieces of clip art from Shutterstock. You're gonna buy 6, then we're gonna rate it. Then you're gonna take all that data and you're gonna buy another 30 pieces of clip art.
Is clip art a word that like anyone younger than millennials don't understand?
Probably.
What do they call it now? What are the kids calling it?
I mean, clip art used to be like how you had fun in MS Word.
Yep.
But does that stuff even exist anymore? I don't know.
I don't think it does. It's like Getty Images or Shutterstock is.
I still remember the Kid Pics days.
Oh man.
Oh, kid pics.
Anybody feel old yet?
Do you want to cyberbully Wit into quitting this, purchasing a copy of Kid Pics, and then making art for our amusement?
Never believe.
I would love to watch an episode on kid pics.
Purchasing.
I would
It's
honestly, I
abandonware
think the
now.
better person to cyberbully into that is Kuro.
Oh yeah.
Make her use Kid Pics on her fancy digital drawing tablet.
That would be cool.
Oh my god.
I would enjoy that.
You can buy
Just
kid
putting it
pics
to work.
3D.
Isn't that just Blender?
No.
Yeah, but we don't want 3D. We want the classic experience.
Yeah.
Like the one we had when we were kids. Matter of
Right,
fact.
Val, you don't even like paint.
Yeah, it's true. The one room in our house that was this color pink, we did paint.
Doesn't this make it that much funnier?
Yeah, pink and black is
Pink
cool.
lighting. Pink lighting. That makes you an LGBT icon.
Okay, I'm sure we can't. The decorrosion station.
Locked.
Oh. No.
Which of these is a not locked? I like how the crafting station has a monkey, a human, and a mech on it. We need to craft some new pilots and some more monkeys for the monkey mech fights.
I imagine that these are locked because this is the demo. Because I think the game isn't
Oh.
finished yet.
Oh, okay. Well, then that's a pretty good excuse.
So, now that we've just spent all that money,
Money.
Do we need to
It seemed
commit
like they
some
didn't
light
get us
fraud?
anything. I like how main tasks for all of them is just repair part? Maybe?
I think it's that they don't know what part it is. Oh, pilot error. So this will be a long job, but probably. Whoops, I skipped the cutscene.
I don't have any money. Better take one of the most expensive jobs I can find.
Well,
Yeah, how's that gonna work?
You're right. That was dumb. I can take a loan.
It was bold. Not dumb, it's bold.
I can take a loan. I've just remembered there's a loan button.
What are you doing alone?
Oof, 30% interest. Ouch.
I want to see what the highest amount is.
Put the repayment schedule on something.
Oh,
something
that's disappointing.
faster.
I just don't think I have credit.
Well, I think you're a
Oh,
credit.
the interest stays the same? Damn. Well,
Damn.
try to avoid taking the loan if you can.
Wait, no. The interest... Now it's moving.
Oh, okay. Wait, why does it go up if you pay it back? Oh, no, the terms actually got more onerous. 50% interest if you pay it back slowly.
Boom, 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 boom.
I want you in my room from now
Well,
until forever. Together in my room.
I don't actually know how much money I will need for parts, so I'm not going to take the loan until I know how much I need it to be.
Well, gee, Silver, I had no idea you felt that way.
I've always felt that way, Alpha.
Well, far be it for me to refuse a good time. Anybody want to join us?
It's a... No.
You guys are playing board games, right?
We're playing with small pieces that little children could choke on, yes.
Jiminy
Jesus.
Crickets.
I'm not comfortable with that euphemism.
I mean, would you give a 3-year-old a set of Legos?
Probably. That sounds like the kind of bad decision I would make.
Uh-huh.
Would I give Peanut Legos? No, I wouldn't. It would get everywhere. Peanut needs a couple of years before
You
she's
know a
ready for
child
Legos.
named Peanut?
That's what I call her.
Oh, okay.
What do we got? Damaged cables?
I call her that because she is one of the few people I know with food allergies who is not allergic to peanuts. She
Oh,
is
I see.
allergic to cinnamon, but I think that she doesn't react to it anymore, so the doctors say she can have cinnamon without dying.
So you didn't name her Cinnamon, why?
Because she's not allergic to
very,
peanuts.
yeah, it would be very cruel to name someone after the delicious thing that will kill them.
He could have named her any other food thing that she wasn't allergic to.
Yeah.
And I was
But
actually...
Peanut helped me remember that she's not allergic to peanuts.
I was expecting the cruelty, actually.
It's a child.
I have come to expect cruelty.
The cruelty is when she grows up and discovers that all she is to us is a wage slave, so she can pay for our retirement.
Also, we lost Admiral.
Oh no.
Oh. Also lost Dogfart.
We also lost steam goggles.
Fine.
Why
do you think I can't take this wire out?
Because it extends further in, maybe?
I guess?
Because it's the hamstring, and therefore it will cause it pain if you remove it.
Is it clipped in somewhere?
Alright, why do you suppose I can't remove... Oh, this guy.
Because I see a couple flaps and a couple screws that are stopping you. We're getting there. There it is, right there.
I could have been an accountant or a lion tamer.
You'll be lying food if you don't shut up.
I don't think they'd go for it.
Even if they don't eat him, they'll tear him apart.
Okay.
Aha.
So I have a question at this point.
Yes.
Now what?
Now we take out a loan.
Loan time.
Hmm. I may have fucked us up.
Really? What gives you that impression?
That I don't have a very robust line of credit,
Mm-hmm.
and there's gonna be other parts.
Yep. This is what happens when our solution is buying everything instead of trying to fix it.
You are saying that like it's my fault, and we have recently learned that it is not my fault.
I'm not saying it's anybody's fault. I'm just saying the fact of the matter is you're dumping money faster than we can earn it. Of course our credit's
That's not
still good.
true. I did make a profit. I got this license.
I mean, does the license generate money? Is it a mint?
It will pay for itself.
I see.
Also, selling those parts to people who have that just got me a ton of money.
You mean the parts that belong to other mechs?
Yes, that I replaced. You're saying it like I stole them.
I mean, do the broken parts no longer belong to the owner just because they're broken?
Yes.
So you're saying that because the parts were broken and you replaced them, you were within your rights to take the parts that were theirs before?
Yeah. That's what we do in my industry.
I see. What's anybody else have to say to that one?
If we replace the thing that they needed replacing, they have no need for the old one. And so
Yeah, you win some,
Agree.
you lose
We-
some.
usually sell it for scrap if it's that broken.
Agreed, but the point that I'm trying to drive here is, at what point does the broken part not become the guy who owned it anymore?
If somebody specifically requests parts, we'll give them back, but most people would rather you take garbage from them. And if they wanted that part very much, then they shouldn't have broken their thing.
Is anybody else enjoying me being a moralistic ass?
I think it's the heart of the stream.
Fair point.
I mean, hell, it was jurisprudence for the longest time. Now it's ethics of ownership.
The once and future jurisprudence.
Yeah. I still remember that episode. We actually got the sound right for Busy Town that time.
I feel like it's come up more than once.
Well, of course, it was an important show for us.
You're
It was the one that really...
$53.
That was the episode that really solidified Silver's spot here.
God, I hope I don't have to pay utilities. It wasn't.
Well,
First of all.
well.
Ding station.
Oh, it's
How
done.
did you? I wasn't paying attention. How did you get that mech back to that person without being able to afford all the parts for it?
I sold the parts that we had been accruing from the other mechs, the parts that we had replaced.
Did you not hear the debate that was just had about the ethics of ownership?
No, he
Because
probably
you-
did, but he had no idea of why it came up.
Silver, do you need a recap of everything that just happened?
Can I
So-
afford this? I can if we take a 1-part repair. Do we want rust or welding?
Well, we just got a
What do you
welding
do with
station.
the welding?
Welding repairs.
We just got a welding station, so.
No, you have to, I guess I could buy both of them. We've unlocked them. We haven't purchased them.
Oh. Well, I think it would be really good if we had, what's that first one stay?
Decorrosion.
Decorrosion. We absolutely need that station. We absolutely need.
If this is still there, it's just a 1 repair job, and then I can afford both of them. Maybe I'll take the job first. Make sure it doesn't go anywhere.
But you can't afford both of them. They're both 1,000, aren't they?
Yes, but I need to leave money for possible parts that I might not be able to fix. Oh, it's dirt.
This thing is filthy. Where's that hose when you need it?
Yeah.
Alright. Oh, I'm so excited. This game just really opened up for me.
Where did Admiral end up?
I don't know. Guess she got bored. Too competent. I'm too good at this. Buy
You're
fuel!
very good at this. What?
Why?
Oh.
Did you say something? Did you? Sorry, I have too many tasks open at the same time.
Whoop, gotta stop hitting that button.
The mech's wet now.
That looks good.
Hmm. So,
There's nothing wrong with this one. Okay, fine. Let's take one of these. The hip plate. The thigh plate. The butt plate. Pops right off. Let's go do this thing. It would have been cool to get to keep all those parts and fix them. But, barring that, I can
Do you
start
prefer
fixing these.
having experienced both in some way or another, do you prefer surgery on organics or mechs?
Well, I have never performed surgery on a live organic thing.
But you've seen it done.
Yes, armor and it's rusted. I think it's harder. Oh, cool! Stuff goes in these rooms now.
That must be the derusting station.
I genuinely don't remember which one I'm supposed to be working on. Lasers.
Cool.
I didn't get to use lasers when I was a surgeon.
Then I think you were playing the wrong surgery game.
Yeah, there's definitely a surgery game where you get to use lasers.
Actually, there is one.
Surgeon Simulator.
Yeah, the one that everyone saw that playthrough of that convinced us those small 30-year-old children to become streamers.
And for my next trick,
No, there was another one from back in my time. It was
With
called
lasers.
Laser Surgeon, the microscopic mission. One that I have never actually streamed, and am admittedly not competent enough to even fail interestingly.
wow.
I'll fail all right, but I won't fail in any funny way.
This is like reverse painting.
I mean,
It is.
essentially.
It's funny when stuff is. What do you think that means?
That means it's broken.
Free, but not without cost. See, that's the problem, is once I stop making up fun terms for stuff, this is no fun for anybody to watch. Thankfully, the night is almost over.
Yeah, we're down to 7
Thank
minutes.
God.
I mean, I got a
place.
I got a good laugh out of hearing you trying to run a seminar.
The trick is
Oh, this
to
has
have,
been a good stream.
the trick is
The
to
trick
have
is-
taken anatomy and physiology twice and work in a technical industry.
Mm. So your technobabble game is on.
Oh yeah, I was born for this. Why
Yeah,
is this
that's
still
the-
very bad?
Well, it
Oh,
did indicate after you finished derusting that it was still broken.
I was wondering what it was trying to tell me. Well, great.
So-
I'm sure we have a repair station around here somewhere.
Probably that welding station, wherever it is. Oh, that's a welding station.
An intoxication? They probably mean the actual definition of toxicity, but that's still quite funny.
As in poison. Less poisons, less poisons. Hee hee hee. Ho ho ho.
I don't know how this works at all.
Is that the one that's broken? The fuel level is going down with time.
Yeah, stop. I wish it would stop.
There you go.
That's very expensive fuel, though.
Whoa, yes it is.
That's alright. We'll give it a gas. Oh. There you go. It indicates by color.
That was a pretty sizable increase in quality. But I'm not sure it will be profitable in the end to weld like that.
Yeah, There's gotta be some way to be better at that. I think you get punished for taking too long? Because the fuel keeps getting used?
He's soon to be punished.
I should start practicing my violin at work.
Oh, I don't think that's true. There are few things worse to listen to than amateur violin. Kerthunk. One of these, one of those. Screw it together. And finished. Alright, let me turn in this job and we can end the stream. I may play a little bit more of this just to see how far the demo goes. That is not the right. But I think we've gotten everything out of this game that we're gonna. I want to thank you guys for humoring me. Because
My exasperated pleasure.
This was a pleasure.
we got there, and I think it was the bumbling is funny up to a point.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, it is time for us to stop. Thank you, anybody, for watching. You shouldn't have. Thank you to my co-hosts, both present and not present. And we will continue next week with 9 persons, 9 hours, 9 doors.
999.
Yes. And continue the deadly game of escape room.
And this time I'll actually be present for it.
Yes. I feel like you really didn't miss that much.
No, I was replaced by 7 with his dirty jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it is time for us to go. Thank you for watching. Have a lovely evening. All this cost you was choice.
And beggars can't be dildos.
Twitch.tv/AlphaStarDX.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
You know, if